When Luke returned from the dead, he still couldn't believe what he had experienced. The heavenly visions, the words from Jesus, everything was still vivid in his mind. But the thing that troubled him the most was the warning about Elon Musk and the technology he was about to develop. Luke didn't fully understand everything at that moment, but he knew this was a significant message, a warning that could not be ignored. He began to feel like he had been given a mission, a responsibility that weighed heavily on him. Elon Musk, the man he had once admired for his groundbreaking work in technology, now became a central figure in this tragic story. Musk wasn't evil, but according to Jesus, the technology he was about to unveil would bring about devastating consequences for humanity. Luke stood in front of the mirror staring at his reflection. He wasn't just a normal teenager anymore. He had died, and now he was back, carrying a message that he wasn't sure how to share. The next day, when Luke returned to school, he couldn't stop thinking about Jesus' warning. He tried talking to his close friends, but when he began discussing Elon Musk, the brain chip technology, and the dark figures he had seen in his vision, they only laughed and told him he was just shaken from his experience. "What are you talking about, Luke? You're probably just freaked out after everything that happened," one of his friends said, shaking his head. Luke felt isolated. He wanted to share everything he had seen, but no one could understand. No one believed him. The visions from death kept flooding his mind, and he knew that this technology would change the world forever. A week later, Luke couldn't take it anymore. He turned to an old book about technology and read about neural implants, the brain chip, the technology Elon Musk was developing. He couldn't help but feel a deep fear when he realized, based on Jesus' words, that connecting the human mind to machines would disconnect humans from their souls. "This technology isn't just a big leap forward," Luke muttered to himself. "If people lose their connection to their souls, they will lose their ability to love, feel, and even think freely. It will all be controlled." He couldn't stop thinking about Jesus' warning and the consequences. People will believe they are becoming better versions of themselves, but in reality, they will be manipulated, Jesus had said. Luke couldn't stay silent any longer. He went to his parents and tried to explain everything he had gone through, the warning from Jesus. His parents were worried, but they couldn't understand. He talked about Elon Musk, about the brain chip, and the danger it posed, but they just thought it was all part of a crazy dream. Luke was faced with a difficult decision: speak out about the warning and try to stop it, or stay silent. If he spoke out, would anyone believe him? Could he prevent this technology from spreading before it was too late? "I have to do something," Luke whispered to himself. "I can't just sit here and watch the world change without doing anything." Luke's mind was racing. The more he thought about the warning from Jesus, the more he felt the weight of it pressing down on him. Elon Musk's name echoed in his thoughts, followed by the chilling images of people lined up for the brain chips, their faces filled with excitement, unaware of the dangers they were about to unleash. His life was no longer the same. He had been given a glimpse of something greater, something the world was not ready for. But Luke wasn't sure how to share the message, how to make them believe. In the middle of the night, he couldn't sleep. His heart was racing as if it was still caught between the world of the living and the one he had just left. He lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, the words of Jesus playing over and over again in his mind. Many people with good intentions become tools in the enemy's hands. Luke turned to his phone and searched for everything he could find on Elon Musk's Neuralink. The more he read, the more his fear deepened. The promises of advanced technology and life-enhancing devices seemed so innocent on the surface. But underneath, there was a darker force at play. "This is it," Luke whispered to himself. "This is the key. The choice of the future. And I have to stop it before it's too late." He decided to take a bold step. He knew that if he was going to prevent the world from making a terrible mistake, he would need more than just words. He needed action. The only way to get through to people was to reach Elon Musk himself. He sent an email, a message that seemed like a desperate plea. "Mr. Musk, I need to talk to you. What you're about to do will change the world forever. It's not what you think. There are dangers, spiritual dangers, that you can't see." He didn't expect a reply, but to his surprise, he received a response within the hour. "Let's meet. This is important." Luke felt a surge of hope, but also dread. Was he ready to meet the man whose technology could change humanity and yet, at the same time, destroy its very soul? The meeting took place in a small, unassuming office in the heart of Silicon Valley. Luke walked in, his palms sweaty, his heart pounding. Sitting across from him was Elon Musk, a man he had admired for years. The entrepreneur who had revolutionized space travel, electric cars, and who was now on the verge of creating a new world. But as soon as Luke laid his eyes on him, he felt a sense of unease. Musk was no longer the man he thought he knew. There was something different about him, something Luke couldn't put his finger on. "I've read your message," Musk said, his voice calm but intrigued. "You said there are spiritual dangers. What do you mean?" Luke took a deep breath. This was it. The moment where everything would either fall into place or spiral out of control. "What you're doing, Mr. Musk, isn't just about technology. It's about connecting minds to machines, and you don't realize that the consequences go far beyond what you think. You're opening a door to something much darker than you can imagine." Musk raised an eyebrow but didn't interrupt. Luke continued, "I saw it when I died. There are forces at play that you don't understand. This technology is dangerous. It will disconnect people from their souls. The more you develop it, the further humanity will drift from what really matters." Musk leaned forward. His interest piqued, but Luke could see that he was skeptical. "You're talking about spiritual danger," Musk said slowly. "I'm talking about saving humanity, curing diseases, and making the world a better place. If we can connect minds to machines, we can solve the biggest problems in the world." Luke shook his head. "You're missing the point. You think technology can fix everything, but it can't fix the human soul. You're playing with something you don't understand." Musk's expression turned serious. "And you think you do?" he asked, his voice almost challenging. Luke hesitated, but he felt something deep inside, telling him to speak the truth. "I know what I saw. I was there. I saw the consequences of your actions. There's something much bigger at play here, and if you keep going, you'll be doing more harm than good." For a long moment, the room was silent. Luke could see Musk deep in thought, clearly weighing the weight of what he had just heard. The conversation wasn't over, but Luke knew that time was running out. Musk stood up and walked toward the window, staring out at the sprawling city below. "I've always believed that the future of humanity is in our hands," Musk said, his voice quieter now. "But I never thought about the spiritual side of it. Maybe I've been blind to something bigger." Luke stood up, his voice firm. "It's not too late to change course. You can still turn this around, Elon, but you have to choose.